Deuteronomy chapter 32, Song of Moses. Give ear, heavens, and I will speak, O hear, earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, and my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of the Lord, and ascribe the greatness unto our God. For he is as a rock, his work is perfect, all his ways are judgment. A God of truth, just and right is he, without iniquity. For they have corrupted themselves, their spot is not the spot of his children, they are perverse and a crooked generation. He thus will quit the Lord, ye foolish people and unwise. Is not he thy father that hath brought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thine father, and he will shew thee, and the elders, and they will tell thee. For when the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, and he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land, in the waste howling wilderness. And he led him about, he instructed him and kept him as the apple of his eye. So as an eagle stirreth up her nest, and fluttereth over her young, spreading abroad her wings, taking them and bearing them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead them, there was no strange God with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields, and he made him suck the honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock, butter of kine, milk of sheep, fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys and wheat. Thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape, a Jeshurun and waxed fat and kicked, as thou art waxed and fat and grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God, which made him lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. And they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, and abominations they provoked him to anger. So they sacrificed unto devils and not to God, to gods whom they knew not, and to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that he begat thee thou art unmindful. And hast forgotten the God that formed thee. So when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and his daughters. He said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. They are a very froward generation. Children in whom there is no faith, and in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with vanities. I will move them to jealousy with those that are not a people, and I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn to the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap mischiefs upon them, I will send my arrows upon them. They shall be burnt with hunger, and devoured with burning heat. Bitter destruction, I will also send teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of the serpents of the dust. The sword without, and terror within shall destroy both young man and virgin, suckling and also man of gray hairs. I said, I would scatter them into the corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Were it not that I fear the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely. Let us say our hand is high. Lord hath not done all this. For their nation for a counsel, neither is there any understanding in them, or that they are wise, that they would understand this, that they would consider their latter end. How should one chase 1,000 and put 2,000 to flight, except their rock sold them, and the Lord shut them up? As the rock is not our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges, for their vine is the vine of Sodom. And of the fields of Gomorrah, the grapes are the grapes of gall, and their clusters are better, their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel, the venom of asps. Is not this laid up in store with me, sealed up among my treasures? To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand. The thing shall come upon them, make haste. For the Lord shall judge his people, and repent himself for his servant. When he seeth that their power is gone, there's none to shut him up or left, when he shall say, where is their God, their rock, in whom they trusted when they did eat of the fat of their sacrifices, and drink of the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you to be your protection. So see now that I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and reward them that hate me. And I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and the sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain of the captives from the beginning of the revenges upon the enemy. So rejoice, ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, who will render vengeance to his adversaries, and he will be merciful unto his land, to his people. Now Moses came and spake all these words in the song nearest the people, he and Ashia, the son of Nun. And Moses made the end of all his speaking these words unto Israel, and said unto them, set your hearts unto the words which I testify unto this day, which ye shall command your children to observe, to do all the words of his law. For it is not of anything for you, because it is your life, and through this thing you shall prolong your days in the land, whither you go over to Jordan to possess it. And Lord spake unto Moses and saw some days, saying, get thee unto the mountain of Abiram, to the mountain of Bo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho. And behold, the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for a possession. And die on the mountain whither thou goest up. And begat unto people as Aaron thy brother died, and Mount Hor, and was gathered up to his people, because he trespassed against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, the wilderness of Sin, because he sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I gave the children of Israel. Alright, Deuteronomy chapter 33. Therefore, this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. He said, the Lord came from Sinai, rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and came with 10,000 of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. Yea, he loved the people and all his saints that are in thy hand, and sat down at thy feet. Everyone will receive thy words. Moses commanded Salah, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob, and he was a king in Jeshua. And when the heads of the people of the tribes of Israel were gathered together, so let Reuben live and all die, let not his men be few. And this is the blessing of Judah. He said, hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, bring him unto his people, let his hands be sufficient for him, without help from him for his enemies. And the lie he said, let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massah, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah. You said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him. Neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children, for they have observed thy words and kept thy covenant. And they teach Jacob thy commands and Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee and burn thy whole sacrifice upon thine altar. Bless the Lord his substance, accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise up against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. And of a Jamin he said, Beloved of the Lord shall dwell safely by him. The Lord shall cover him all the day long, shall dwell between his shoulders. And of Joseph, Blessed be the Lord be his land, for the precise things of heaven, for the dew and the deep that coucheth beneath, for the precious fruits bring forth by the sun, precious things brought forth by the moon, and the chief things in the mountain, ancient mountains, for the precise things of the lasting hills, for the precise things of the earth, and the fullness thereof. For the goodwill of him that dwelt in the bush, the blessing coming upon the head of Joseph, upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. His glory is like the firstling of the bullock, and his horns like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall put forth the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are 10,000 of Ephraim, and they are 1,000 of Manasseh. And Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun is going out, and Issachar in thy tents. They shall call people unto the mountains, they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, they shall suck of the abundance of the seas, and the treasures hid in the sand. And of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad, he dwelleth as a lion, he teareth the arm, the crown of his head. He provided the first part for himself, because there is a portion of the lawgiver. Was he seated when he came with the heads of the people? He executed judgment of the Lord, and his judgment in Israel. And Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp. He shall leap from Bashan. Naphtali he said, Naphtali satisfied with favor. The fullness of the Lord possessed all the west and south. And Asher he said, Asher be blessed, the children, let him be acceptable to thy brethren, let him dip his foot in his oil. Thy shoe shall be iron and brass in thy days, or shall his strength be there is none like unto the God of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heavens in thy help, and the excellency on thy sky. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are everlasting arms. Shall thrust out the enemy before thee, and shall say, Destroy them. Israel shall dwell safely alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine also. His heaven shall drop down too. So happy art thou, Israel, it's like unto thee, O people saved of the Lord, the shield of thine help, who is the sword of excellency, and thine enemies will become liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon the high places. That concludes chapter 33 of Deuteronomy. And for my Lord bless you, keep you. My Lord make his face to shine upon you, be gracious unto you. My Lord lift up his countenance unto you, and grant you his peace. Daedalus, Curatus, Cypeter, Tivixeter, no men to him, and veni et regnum to him. But I'm no shrum, quality dinum, that abyssidai, demitibus, God no stress, acutum, and ipside, we know it's online, and tenibus, and no syntacis, and tentatianum.